my goodness. Can I drive?
Nope.
Please.
The Tesla Model S. The Californian newcomer that defined the future of electric vehicles. Fast, powerful, silent, pioneering, feature-rich, elegant, effortless, unopposed. For almost a decade, it had nothing to prove. Until Detroit decided it wanted in on the action. America's Big Auto wasn't going to let some Silicon Valley tech bro steal their sales, so they've responded in kind with this beast. Let's get some faster facts.
Price from £47,500 in the UK or €65,000 in the Republic of Ireland. Need my phone for this bit. Battery 75.7 or 98.7 kilowatt hours total capacity for 70 or 91 kilowatt hours usable. The real world range, according to the EV database, is 220 to 230 miles per charge. In kilometres, that's 352 to 448. Performance, depending on the spec, you get between 198 to 358 kilowatts worth of motor. And that'll shift the Mach-E from 0 to 60 anywhere between 7 to 4.4 seconds. Charging, you get an 11 kilowatt onboard charger, and depending on the battery size, you get 115 to 150 kilowatts via CCS. Mustang purists may refuse to call this anything other than the Mach-E, but one thing is for sure, it certainly has been turning a lot of heads. And it has got Mustang looks, but you can't escape from the fact it is an SUV, which a lot of people want nowadays. Is it really a Mustang though? Not really. Will it convert petrol heads to the EV side? Hopefully.
So inside the Mach-E, you can see that they've borrowed a couple of ideas from Tesla. For example, the gigantic portrait-oriented iPad that we have right in the middle here, basically, that is your infotainment system. It juts out from the center console. They've done a really good job with this screen. It's incredibly high resolution, incredibly vivid, incredibly bright. The viewing angle is excellent, as you'd hope it would be. But into the menu proper, and you've got everything you could possibly want within a kind of swipe away. There's none of this kind of menu after menu after menu. It's all pretty much in front of you again. Not quite to the extent of the Honda E, which I'm absolutely fascinated with, of course, but it's pretty close actually. And if anything, there seems to be less burying within the menu than there is in my Model S actually. In terms of the interior, it's very Detroit, it's very American Big Auto. You can have any color you want as long as it's black, and that goes for any of the 3 different trim levels on this car. Personally, I find black interiors a bit yawn-worthy, but such is the clarity of this big center console infotainment system. It really pops. It does stand apart, and it's not quite as yawn-worthy as you might think it would be. There's some interesting fabrics that are used on the dashboard as well, some sort of faux carbon fiber there. It might even be real, who knows. I see that there's a Bang & Olufsen sound system as well, so need to try and give that a blast later on, see how good it is. But yeah, as far as Ford goes, you can tell that this is high-end, or as far as American Big Auto goes, which tends to be cheap, nasty black plastic on the interior, this is quite high-end in comparison. Shall we get going? The handbrake down. Oh goodness me, that was keen to get going, wasn't it? Oofed. This car is definitely very keen to get going. I would say arguably a bit too keen for my liking. I would want to be able to drive that a bit more sensibly in traffic. It's probably something to do with a sport setting, and stupid me has gone the wrong way. So what we'll do is we will check out the turning circle. The Honda E on this road that we're going just now managed it in 1. This has a good extra couple of meters of turning circle that it has too. negotiate. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it in a little sort of 3-point turn. Now, we're on a fairly quiet street. Don't worry for anyone in the car, I'm not actually going to be launching it up to 60 miles an hour or something, but of course, this is a Mustang and it has a throttle, so let's see how it responds to that. Oh, that's quick enough. Yeah, there we go. So this car can go from 0 to 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometers an hour in about 7.7 seconds in its slowest guise, down to about 4.4 seconds in its quickest guise, if I remember correctly. This one is the all-wheel drive version and will therefore be somewhat middling within that sort of range, but is still abundantly powerful. It is a Mustang. Even the entry-level version will be pretty quick off the mark. Yeah, having been over to Detroit and sampled via the rental cars the best that Big Auto churns out en masse in the US, you know, generally things are not rattly, but they're a bit cheap and maybe a bit kind of spongy. This does feel as if it's more solidly made. So Ford says that the Mustang Mach-E has an efficiency rating of A+. What does that tell you? I'll be honest, probably not that much. There are more efficient cars out there when it comes to watt-hours per mile. But that said, Kevin Booker, who is renowned for his ability to extract insane efficiencies out of cars, set his triple Guinness World Record from Land's End to John O'Groats, or John O'Groats to Land's End I should say, in an electric car with the least amount of energy used and the smallest stopping times and so on. He set that in a Ford Mustang Mach-E. So he rates it incredibly highly, and this is someone who, for fun, will try and eke out the most range from any EV that he can get his hands on. So that is a huge tick in the box for the Mustang Mach-E. Here we are at the Kingston Bridge Rapid Charging Hub in Glasgow, one of the biggest of its kind in Scotland. 12 rapid chargers here, not too dissimilar to the kind you'll find in the Faster project.
It is amazing. I love to see innovation like this, but also the fact we've got vans, we've got taxis, we've got cars, all charging under one roof on these fast chargers. It's great to see, and we've also got Donald from the Faster project and Norrie from the EVA Scotland here, so we're going to go and have a chat with them right now. So me and Donald are in the Ford Mustang Mach-E. My first impressions, really like it. Donald, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it. Think it's an amazing car. Love the interior. Very different to anything I think I've ever driven before. Ultra modern, stylish, but very comfortable. And I think from a driver's perspective, it's a lovely driving car.
We know that the future is electric. Electric cars are being rapidly adopted, but it doesn't work without the right charging infrastructure, which is where you guys come in.
Our role with the Faster project is to work with the public to encourage increased use of electric vehicles in Scotland, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. So really we're working with a range of stakeholders.
So the Mach-E, who is it really for? Well, it does stare straight in the face of the Tesla Model S and say, come get some. You know, it's a direct competitor. But that said, it doesn't have quite as many features. That said, it doesn't have quite as many pounds or euros in its price tag either. And it is a pretty well-refined car, if I'm honest, but it all comes down to personal preferences. Do you prefer the way that Tesla have gone about the way that they've designed their car, or do you prefer the handling, the styling, and the comparatively basic but still pretty decent features of the Mach-E? So yeah, I mean, it is a direct competitor to the Model S, but as I said, they've done things very differently, and if you are used to the creature comforts of a Tesla, there might be a couple of things that you would miss in this car, but that said, if you've never driven a Tesla before in your life, or if you can live without some of those features, then there's plenty to be working with in the Mustang Mach-E. So the Mustang Mach-E is undoubtedly an impressive beast, and there are certain features and styling that I really like. American Big Auto should be very pleased with their first attempt, and Ford's innovations that are coming up very soon are very exciting, trust me. But there's just a few aspects that still require refinement on the Mach-E. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm getting back in my Tesla.
This project has been supported through the European Union's Interreg 5A programme.